Today is a very auspicious day, appearance day of one dear disciple of Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti, Sharan, Shanta Gosvami Maharaj. I will read what Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj told about him. Externally speaking, he was born in Jessore district, now Bangladesh, in both Khana village. After joining the Math, he was awarded the name Parananda Prabhu. One of his services was to perform Arati at the Jogapith temple. At that time, ladies from Vishnupriya Pali would attend the Arati. Vishnupriya Pali was like a village where lady devotees, those who were widows or those who wanted to lead ascetic life as brahmacharinis, they would stay there and they would do bhajan. So that was near Jogapith temple in Mayapur. It was established by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur. Our Parangurudev's mother was also staying in that place. So here, and they would manage everything, cooking, worship, everything. Later he went to Godrum. Even then, all the ladies continued to go and see him perform the Arati. Because such devotion Maharaj had, so they were attracted by his devotion. Thereafter, due to some reversal of rearrangement, he went to Bardhaman district and made his ashram in Ahiyapur. When he performed the installation there, he decided to take Guru Maharaj, means Srila Bhaktivedanta Madhava Goswami Maharaj, with him. At that time, Guru Maharaj inspired him not to stay there, but rather to reside in the Dham. So he moved to Mayapur and made another ashram there. Guru Maharaj would often convince his god brothers to settle in Mayapur and stay together. It was our Parangurudev who first bought land there in Ishodyan. There was nothing there before. In Mayapur, only Jogapith Mandir was there, and Srivasangam and Chaitanya Math, and Murari Gupta's house. But this side, from Jogapith south, there was nothing to the Ganga. So Parangurudev, by getting that revelation that this is Ishodyan, it is Radhakunda, so he first bought a big land there. At that time it was cheap, so he was the first to start Math there and cleaning everything. Then he used to encourage all his god brothers to also occupy that land. He said, otherwise in future some other materialists may take, so better we all make temples here and stay together, do bhajan, and not allow others to take this. So Parangurudev bought land for ISKCON also. He helped to get that land. And for Srila Bhakti Jajavar Maharaj next, and Srila Bhakti Kamal Madhusudan Maharaj, Gopinath Gauriya Math, Puri Maharaj. Then another side, that Gauranga Math. And just opposite to Gopinath Gauriya Math, this is the Math of this Maharaj, Shanta Maharaj, where now Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj's Samadhi is also there. In that same compound, he bought 2 rooms, and next to that is Samadhi of this Maharaj and his deities. And even though Maharaj was staying there after his disappearance, some others I heard from Bodayan Maharaj. I was with him in Vienna and he was very concerned. He heard that some rich materialists, they want to make a shopping mall there, and they wanted to remove all that thing. So Buddhayan Maharaj was very worried. He said, no, this is the place of our Guru Varga. We cannot allow this. So he was very worried how to get so much money to fix all these legal things and everything. But somehow, by the will of Krishna, he got money and he secured that place. So nowadays, his brahmacharis from Gopinath Gauriya, they are doing all the seva there. Arati and offering and worship of Maharaj, his Samadhi Mandir, and taking care of that place. So our Parangurudev had this vision a long time ago that it is better that all disciples of Prabhupada, they should stay there together and do bhajan. Also, one organization wanted to make a wider road so as more tourists or more people can come, and for that many samadhis would have to be destroyed, means moved or something, but our Gurudev opposed. He gave all scriptural evidences to the judge and everyone, and also Gurudev told that those workers already came from Ganga side, but they were afraid of Shiva, they could not go further. Our Parangurudev installed Shiva near Ganga Ghat, Ketropal Shiva, guardian of the Dham. So they were 300 workers were there already ready to start because government already approved. But Shiva stopped them. Then Gurudev, with one High Court judge, he explained to him, I saw some documents. He explained that this is a sacred place. Here, prominence is to worship, not like tourists and these things. And more and more people like this. No, this is a place of worship. It is sacred. Gurudev very nicely he wrote. Then the judge cancelled that, so it was saved. So it is all the time happening. Even in Dham, the conditioned souls, they want to exploit everything. So it is not good. But real devotees, they're like Maharajas, they're like king, like Parikit Maharaj. They don't allow these things. At least in Dham, you should not do these things. So Buddhayan Maharaj also secured place of this Maharaj. So now you see on both sides from our mat, from Ganga mat, Ganga Ghat, there are so many mats, and this side, Nandana Chandra Bhavan, then there is ISKCON, and then there are some other buildings, then Bhakti Vaibhav Maharaj's mat, then you will find Bhakti Kumud Shanta Goswami Maharaj mat, and like this up to Jogapit it is going on. But there was nothing there before. So it was Parangurudev's wish that this should be occupied by disciples of Prabhupada and do bhajan together. While Srila Bhakti Sharan Shanta Maharaj was constructing his mat in Mayapur, he was residing in our mat. His specialty was that he would nurture small children, cultivating them spiritually by teaching them how to perform bhajan. Means do service and do some kirtan like this. Upon being trained nicely, however, some other devotees would later adopt the readily trained young devotees to serve at their respective mats. Srila Shanta Maharaj would never become upset by this because he considered awarding training as his duty, regardless of where his students ended up. Because real devotees, they are interested only in the service of Krishna, not in collecting disciples, money, name and fame, all these worldly things. That is not their target. Their target is to satisfy Krishna. So Krishna sent these souls that I should train them, and later when they will find their gurus, they will go on with their service of Krishna. Why I have to exploit anyone for my purpose? Real devotees, they're happy, like we heard. Shiva, he told to Nimbarka, Acharya in Bilva Paksha, that Bilpukur, he told him, I'm very pleased with your worship. So I'm telling you, the 4 Kumaras are your gurus, so you go there and submit to them. But when Vishnu Swami was there, then Rudra accepted him as a disciple. So everything is arranged from above. It is not about grabbing things. Gorkishore Das Babaji had 1 disciple. 1. And Narottam Thakur had maybe million. So it is not judged by this. It is judged by whether one is serving Krishna. That is the point. So he's arranging these things. So Maharaj saw, this is my seva, I have to do this seva, and where they will continue their seva, it is very good. But if we try to own disciple, or I was cultivating, so I'm cultivating someone, so I am entitled to hold him, that is some separate interest there. Real devotees, they have only desire to serve Krishna as per service given by Krishna. It is not that all will do same service. All will do a charge of service. Not necessary. But that does not mean that other services who are doing all the services, that is all useless. It is like in army. Someone is shooting gun, that artillery or whatever, and killing. So we think he's doing real job, but it is not so. There are so many others who are, some are cooking, some are washing clothes, some are driving truck to bring ammunition. So many services are there so that that man can shoot. Like that, in one mat, you will see one is a charjo, but all devotees, they are engaged in the service. It is not that only he is doing all the services. So they are all together, they are serving Krishna. And the Acharya is also thinking, I am the servant of Krishna, not owner or like this. So Nityananda Prabhu also, Baladev, he will attract jivas from this Maya to come to service of Krishna, and those who are fit for Madhur Jaras, he will send them to Radharani to be trained by her associates. And for others, he will send there like this. So here also, so we need association of such real devotees who have no any other desire except service of Krishna. They are all cooperating. In Leela also, Brinda is arranging, but all are serving Radha Krishna. There is no lower, higher, all are serving as per that arrangement. So we should not judge by some these things. So Maharaj proved that he is a real devotee. He only wants to serve Krishna. He was not upset, thinking he is my boy. I invested so much time, so much energy. He should become my disciple. Not like that. And they know Krishna is the only maintainer and protector. They are not collecting disciples to secure their bank account or pension like this. And being all the time worried, if someone will take my disciples, then I will lose money. That is not in their consciousness, those who are real devotees. That is materialistic thinking, that he is someone else's competitor to my preaching, so I will lose, he will take all the money, And how I will survive in my old age? I will not get donation. This is materialistic thinking. Real devotee knows Krishna is maintainer, Krishna is protector. My duty is to serve him. What he wants me to do, that I will do. And he's maintainer. So that is different. Means that is real devotion. He would name his disciples Ram Gopal, Shyam Gopal, and so on. He used to speak very softly and sweetly. Later, Guru Maharaj, means our Parangurudev, urged him to take sannyas from Srila Bhakti Gaura by Gosvami Maharaj, and he came to be known as Srila Bhakti Sharan Shanta Maharaj. He would participate in festivals at our mat, and he would also preach. Also, about there are some rich people. So if someone is flattering them, saying something to please them in order to induce them to give donation to him, and he's making compromise with Siddhanta, with the truth, with practices, to please that person in order to get donation, that is not a servant of Krishna. He's outside, he's materialist. Krishna is the only maintainer and protector. If I serve Krishna, he will make all arrangements for my protection and sustenance. Why I should deviate from the service of Krishna to compromise so as to please someone to give me donation? Means I am depending on that person. I think I will survive by his help, not by Krishna. So one who has such thinking, he cannot be a charja. Never, never possible. One who is well established in devotion to Krishna and realize his eternal relation with him, and the Krishna is only maintainer and protector, that is part of Sharanagati, he is the only one who can serve Krishna purely and can engage others in service of Krishna. He can do this work as a charja. Otherwise, if this realization is not there, then he will compromise. He will say, no, you can drink whatever you like. You can do. In this way, they are collecting money. But it is not service of Krishna, so we are deprived. Maybe we will get some worldly things. We'll get money, we'll get name and fame, we will get some followers, some ladies for enjoyment. We can get this. But we will not get what we really require, that is Krishna Prem. So we are deprived. So we have to decide what you want. You want service of Krishna or you want worldly things? That is why here we see in Bhagavatam that Srila Bhakti Maharaj told me that time. It is when I had to translate on that Harinam initiation. This is very important. Because that is, Guru has to explain these things. Why? Because he's Guru. He has to explain these things are not for the satisfaction of Krishna, and these things you have to accept for the satisfaction of Krishna. If I'm not telling them this, how I'm servant of Krishna? I'm not saying these things, being afraid that then they will not want to become disciples and I will lose donation. So yes, you can eat whatever you like, you can drink, no Ekadashi, no problem, you fast or not fast, no problem, like this. That is not service of Krishna. Krishna told in Shastra and by Guru Parampara it is there what is to be done for Krishna, what is prohibited. So unless one teaches this, how he can be Guru? And unless disciple practices, how he can be disciple, means real disciple for the service of Krishna. So here, so he took sannyas and got this name. He would participate in festivals at our mat, and he would also preach. He desired that Guru Maharaj accept his mat, but he declined the offer as he did not want two mats in one location. Guru Maharaj requested him to retain the ownership and promised to provide whatever support would be required. Our mat in charge used to help him in all possible ways. Eventually he left his body and was given samadhi there itself. So now Srila Bodhayan Maharaj is taking care of that mat. It happened in Vrindavan also. Srila Bhakti, Bhakti Sarasa Giri Maharaj, disciple of Prabhupada. He was about to leave this world and he had one mat there in Kaliyadaha, Binod Bani Gauriya mat. So before leaving his body, he called our Parangurudev and he was requesting him, you please take this mat. Then Parangurudev said, already I have one mat in Mathura Road. So there are other, our God brothers and sannyasis, you give to one of them. You give. I don't require, because Parangurudev is a servant of Krishna. He's not after buildings and this and these things. Property. What he will, they are not thinking why, because they have relation with Krishna, who is owner of everything. If you are a son of a king, then what is there lacking for you? King owns everything, so everything is available to you naturally by your relation. So if you are in relation with Krishna, then what is the need of thinking this is my property? This is another's property and I have to get as much property as possible. This is not a thinking of a real devotee. He knows everything belongs to Krishna. I have to serve him. So Parangurudev saw it would be like already two establishment, means one establishment is there, you can give to others. They may serve. But then Giri Maharaj was crying and he said, no, I want you, I can trust you that you will properly take care. So if you will take, only then I can peacefully give up this body, otherwise I cannot. And he was crying and requesting and holding hand and everything. So because he was a senior god brother of our Parangurudev, then Parangurudev, to fulfill his desire, he accepted that mat and he made all arrangement for seva and everything there. So here also, this Maharaj told, you take this mat. Parangurudev said, no, why? I can give help if there is any help necessary, but you keep it. Also another Bhakti is Sundar Sagar Maharaj. He is a disciple of Parvat Maharaj, also Prabhupada's disciple. He wanted to give to our Gurudev that mat. Then Guru said, no, you are from that preceptorial channel. You are a disciple of Parvat Maharaj, so you have to go. If you need any help, I can give money or I can send brahmachari or something, but you have to do that because you are from that preceptorial channel. So real devotees, they are not after as many buildings as possible, as many this. No, they are only wanting to serve Krishna because they are not burdened by their any other desires I'm a big acharya, I have so many disciples, I have so many mats. They're not concerned about that. Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj did not want to have any disciple because he thought that will give some deviation from my bhajan. So they're not after that, and they're only accepting service of Krishna, what Krishna arranges, and they're also not concerned about their survival because they are sons of Krishna. Krishna is the owner of everything. How they can feel any lack of anything or any worry if I will not like flatter that person, then he will not give me donation. They are the sons of the owner of everything. They are realized in that. So they are not burdened by any of these calculations. Their only thinking is service of Krishna. How Krishna wants. Million disciples or one disciple, one mat, millions mat, whatever Krishna desires, that is service. But they are not separately wanting for some worldly these things. So here Srila Bharati Maharaj is continuing. I never saw Srila Shanta Maharaj engage in a quarrel or argument with anyone. He would not even raise his voice towards his disciples. Why? Because no false ego. All quarrel is due to false ego. Separate interest. I have some interest and that person has another interest and there is a clashing. If you have different centers of interest and if you draw a circumference, then sooner or later inevitably they will cross and there will be fight. So there is a forest fire in this world, all the time quarreling. I am this country, you are that country. We are friend, you are enemy. Means demoniac vision, materialistic vision. Prahlad Maharaj said in Bhagavatam, this is demoniac vision. We are all coming from same source. We are all related to each other. There is no enemy and friend and this and stranger and my own based on material these designations. That is all demoniac. You have to raise above and be friend to all, seeing them in relation to Krishna. You are related to Krishna, they are related to Krishna, we are all interrelated. So you will have love for all living entities. You can respect, you can serve, you can, but never exploit. So here, Maharaj, because no false ego, Trinada Pisanachina, why quarrel? For what? For worldly supremacy, no. There is also quarrel in Lila, but that is for the service of Krishna. That is of different category altogether. In this world, this forest fire is this. But in transcendental realm, there is only one center of interest, that is service of Krishna. All are serving Krishna in their own respective ways. And someone may serve more or less, so circles will be smaller or bigger, but there will be no crossing. There is rivalry and quarrel also, but that is for the satisfaction of Krishna as a part of their lila. Target is same, not selfish, these things. And they all have very beautiful forms. Krishna has beautiful form, but all associates, they have beautiful forms. The form of our soul is also very beautiful, that in relation to Krishna. So when you have contact with that form and that scent and that touch, then you cannot have any attraction or desire for this. material forms and this material enjoyment. It is impossible. That is of different category, and there is no quarrel. No quarrel based on anarthas. That is happening in this world. So Maharaj is beyond anarthas, so why he will quarrel? Most of the time he used to reside in our mat. He was a very loving Vaishnava. I am remembering him on his, that time it was disappearance day, today is appearance, because both appearance and disappearance day of Vaishnavas can bestow auspiciousness. Both of them are equally worthy of worship. Remembrance of Vaishnavas brings auspiciousness, and their forgetfulness brings inauspiciousness. Before I was singing that song, Kirupe Paivo Seba Mui Durachar, Shri Guru Vaishnavarati Nahoilo Amar. How can I, a wicked person, get the service of Bhagavan because I have no attachment to Guru and Vaishnava? I am fully, endlessly, I am immersed in this. Ashesha Maya Tamon Magana Huilo, in this Maya. So I have no even a little attraction for Vaishnavas. I don't have. I am attached to this Maya, and I have to suffer because of that. But if I can get attachment to Guru Vaishnava, then that will be cause of auspiciousness, and that will give me service of Krishna, that is transcendental, absolute bliss, that we can get only from Vaishnavas. It is impossible otherwise. So I am remembering Srila Maharaj's Samadhi Mandir there. I visited many times. I am remembering his deity at his Samadhi. I am bowing down to Maharaj and praying for his causeless mercy that I may develop this Trinadapi Sunichana, Tarorapi Sahisnana, Amanina Manadena Kirtanya Sadahuri. That is pure state, no false ego, no other desires. Then you can actually chant Krishna's name, his name. Otherwise, no contact with the name, because other desires, we can have contact with Krishna only through service. So that purification is necessary, that all anarthas will go, and then you are in your real ego, that is Trinadapi Sunichana. I am eternal servant of Krishna, and everything is happening by his desire. So they can tolerate everything, and they cannot harm anyone, and they have no desire, demand for respect from others, and they can give due respect to all. And only in that state it is possible to chant Krishna's name, real name. So I am praying Srila Maharaj to kindly bless with the service of his lotus feet and the lotus feet of his object to worship Krishna, with that service attitude, actual service attitude. Otherwise, all the time in Maya, this enjoyment and suffering, all the time going on. Bisha Bulia Anda Hoinu Divanishi. Day and night I am Bisha Bulia Anda. I am like a blind man, day and night, in this sense enjoyment. Blind. Hoinu Divanishi. Golefans dite appear in Maya sufficiently. Maya put a noose around my neck, means fully I am controlled by Maya. We think I am free, I'm not following any religion, I can do whatever I like, I'm free. But you are not free, you are a slave of your senses, you are a slave of your mind all the time. You are caught. Those who are in the service of Krishna, they are free of Maya. Then next verse says, Ihare Kuriya Jai, means this Maya. You can cross over Maya. You can win over Maya only by Sadhu Kripa. Sadhu Kripa bina ar nahi ko paye. There is no other way except the grace of Sadhu. And Sadhus, they have such nature. They are not seeing the faults of others. They are compassionate to all. They see their good qualities. They are compassionate. So that is our hope only. They are not seeing faults. They are compassionate. So Narottam Thakur, without any hesitation, he's saying, please, this time, you please deliver me. You don't see any faults. I have all faults. All this is there. I'm most wicked. I'm totally in Maya. And there is no other way except your mercy. And you are all merciful. So please deliver me this time. If we can sincerely pray like Narottam Thakur, then we can get their mercy. But if crookedness is there, only outside show, then we are deprived and we have to suffer again and again. So, also, we are hearing, last time I read that verse, and there was a commentary. I started, but the time was over. So I want to read today. Maharaj Parikshit, the son of Abhimanyu, is so experienced that by dint of his expert administration and patronage, it has been possible for you to perform a sacrifice such as this. As I told last time, that Kshatriya's duty is not only to provide material benefits to citizens and to protect them from material dangers, thieves, robbers, like no. He also has to protect the dharma. That is real Kshatriya. So here Sutta Goswami is telling them that because of Parikshit Maharaj, you are able to do this sacrifice. So the Brahmanas and the Sannyasis, this is in commentary, the Brahmanas and the Sannyasis are expert in the spiritual advancement of society, whereas the Kshatriyas or the administrators are expert in the material peace and prosperity of human society. Both of them are pillars of all happiness, and therefore they are meant for full cooperation for common welfare. Maharaj Parikshit was experienced enough to drive away Kali from his field of activities and thereby make the state receptive to spiritual enlightenment. If the common people are not receptive, it is very difficult to impress upon them the necessity of spiritual enlightenment. Austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness, the basic principles of religion, prepare the ground for the reception of advancement in spiritual knowledge. And Maharaj Parikshit made this favorable condition possible. So these four regulative principles, if you are engaged in those four sinful activities, you will lose this: austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. So then you cannot advance spiritually. That is sinful. It is displeasing to Krishna. So this is the basis for spiritual advancement. That is why a bona fide guru, he will train the aspirants to give these things up. He will explain to them and encourage them to give these things up by speaking Harikatha to them and some preliminary practices they can do, like hearing Harikatha, or some services they can do, give donation like this. And they should come out from these bad habits. When they are stable, they understand and they are stable, then Guru will give initiation. Otherwise, if this is not taught, then it is like you are wanting to put fire, but at the same time allowing water to come there. How you can burn the fire? So Guru has to explain these things. 4 regulative principles, these are sinful things. This you have to give up in order to serve Krishna. So he has to teach this. Someone, it is not that all immediately they may be able to, because of so many lives of bad habits, but they should be given time. First, they have to hear Harikatha and understand, like the given time, that they can practice this, and they should gradually give up. If you are drinking every day, then you every second day, like I told last time, then like this, and then gradually they can give up. All these 4 kinds of sinful activities, give up, and then you can accept initiation and you worship Krishna and follow Ekadashi and everything. That is all for the service of Krishna. But if Guru is silent on these 4, for the sake of that they will not hesitate to become my disciple, it means he's not a servant of Krishna. He is materialist. He's trying to get some benefit from. He's not interested in service to Krishna, because this is service of Krishna. So Parikshit Maharaj, here Sai Maharaj is telling, this is the ground. This has to be removed from your heart. So may this favorable condition possible for spiritual knowledge. Thus, the rishis of Naimisharanya were able to perform the sacrifices for 1,000 years because of Parikshit Maharaj removing these bad influences. In other words, without state support, no doctrines of philosophy or religious principles can progressively advance. But nowadays, you cannot expect or hope you will get state support for spiritual advancement and giving up these 4 activities. They themselves are engaged in these 4. Even those drugs and everything they are taking. So it is useless, or you should not have hope to get this sort of support. But Srila Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he saw, before in India, there was no necessity of like mats. There were some mats, like Shankaracharya made some mat in Puris, there were some mat. Rare brahmacharis, sannyasis, they will engage in spiritual cultivation. But otherwise, in all houses, some kind of worship was always going on. And Ramayana, Mahabharata reading, and they would chant Harinam under Tulsi tree, our Gurudev told. That was culture. It was common everywhere. But then when foreign culture invaded, then this gradually became lost, and television and cinema and all these things. So people lost that. So Prabhupada, seeing in future that this will happen, so he made these mats, where those who are having Shraddha, firm faith in Krishna, they can get congenial environment to serve Krishna. Because Bhaktivinoda Thakur told, one has to first do bhajan and in house, and thereby control those 6 urges. Speech, tongue, all this, 6. After conquering all that by bhajan, he can renounce, not before that. But Prabhupada saw it is very difficult that they will do bhajan in houses because all this degradation is going on. So knowing fully well that they are not controlled, but in their houses they will not be able to do bhajan, they will not get proper support. So he made these mat systems where they can come and in association of other sadhus, they will be engaged in the service of Krishna. Then they can advance and they will control all those things. So mats like this. So we cannot expect support from state, but we can get support from sadhu samaj, means society of devotees, either in mat or if like in some house they are real devotees like this, but we need this support so that we can progress. Otherwise in Kali Yuga, to do bhajan alone is very difficult, impossible. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, alone I'm not finding strength. Because even if I'm alone, I'm not in bad association. That influence is not there, but my mind is bad association for me. Because so many, this inclination to enjoy from so many lives is there. So I will have to struggle. But in association with devotees, I can get more strength and support. They will support me. Yes, you go on. Don't be discouraged. It will take some time, and they will guide me how I should do and all this. So this is important. So without state support, no doctrines of philosophy or religious principles can progressively advance. So the real kshatriyas, they would do this. Now we have to take help of real Maharajas. Those who are real Maharajas, devotees of Krishna, who will give us that support for our bhajan. There should be complete cooperation between the Brahmanas and the Kshatriyas for this common good. Even in mat you will find, or in house, someone will be more like knowledge type. He will preach and this thing, Shravan Kirtan all the time, and some will be more manager type. They will provide for all these things. You will find in mats, in houses also, two natures, but both should cooperate for common good, for service of Krishna. Even up to Maharaj Ashok, the same spirit was prevailing. Lord Buddha was sufficiently supported by King Ashok, and thus his particular cult of knowledge was spread all over the world. Here it is meant that Siddhartha Gautam, Buddha, he converted that Ashok king. So this king gave much support to preaching of Buddhism that time in India. So here Sai Maharaj is only giving this example how the preachers and managers, they should, those who have such nature, they should cooperate for common good. Like Prabhupada, he was totally in bhajan and in all Shastra and everything. He had no, like, how to say, to mix with other people and for this and for, no. And for organizing and for building and repairing all this. That was not his nature. He was fully in Gyan, means devotion, devotional Gyan. He could do austerity, everything. But when for preaching he was ordered, then immediately Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent him Kunja Bihari Prabhu. He was manager, perfect manager. He facilitated all preaching of Prabhupada. From beginning, he rented that house, signed contract, go to that. Prabhupada did not do this, but he did. But that was also service to Krishna. So they were cooperating in this way and arranging So cooperation is for the service of Krishna according to one's given service. So tomorrow we will hear about next chapter, how Parikshit Maharaj was cursed by a Brahmana boy.